Let's get started. Number 5 headline. The jig is up, the booze are out, they finally had it. The Renegade.
Shut up, you son! Put your tongue down!
What was that all about, boys? Oh. Yeah, it happened. Run it, Foxy. They're booing Renegade in Pittsburgh. Oh, no. This guy's choking, almost dying.
It was cold. Sad.
Oh, mama, I'm in fear for the Steelers. They're booing their ass at home. I mean, that's happening in Pittsburgh. That's a time-honored tradition. Renegade plays. The entire city goes crazy. Babies at McGee's Women's Hospital, where I was born over there in Oakland, are standing up in their little things doing the dance. Oh, mama. That is what Pittsburgh's about, that moment. Highlights of the defense just demolishing people. It has been symbolic of what the Pittsburgh Steelers are. Steelers fans, for the 3rd time this season, playing good teams, are now losing by double scores, double digits. And they had to lead at the halftime of all of them. Okay? So these Yinzers are going to these games. Some of these things ending real late. Last night, obviously, freezing cold. You saw how cold every Yinzer was in the crowd. They have the lead at halftime in all of them. Seahawks 14-7. Remember that day? That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
That was whenever we were talking about maybe the Seahawks. Yep, maybe the Seahawks, by the way. And then Green Bay Packers, they were down 7-16, 16-7. The Steelers were up. Green Bay Packers go on and win by 2 scores.
Ooh.
And then Pittsburgh Steelers, 7-3 at half. 7-3.
3 points.
This is good. Yeah, he's good. This is Pittsburgh. Josh Allen, this guy's ass. First play of the second half, Bosa says, hey, Aaron, don't break your nose. Bang. Strip sack, have the whole thing. Game changes completely. Pittsburgh Steelers fans are sitting there wondering, what the hell were we thinking when we bought into this team winning the Super Bowl this year? That is what Yinzers are thinking. That is what Pittsburgh Steelers faithful are feeling. And when Renegade's getting its ass booed, that's obviously problematic. And then you go to the end of the game. Pittsburgh Steelers fans are very good at doing things. And that is unified chants calling for somebody's ass to not be around anymore. Oh, no. Hey, did it to Tomlin.
Oh, no. Whoa. This is not good. We are from Pittsburgh. We've experienced this before. Our show has actually been a vehicle for Yinzers to get their points across to the Pittsburgh Steelers ownership and the Rooney family. Canada, they were chanting, Fire Canada in Utah, on the Capitol in D.C., at Pittsburgh Penguins games. JMU.
Once at JMU, they were chanting it. 20,000 plus were chanting it. Whenever Yinzers find something that they're all unified upon and they've given up, they're going to let that be heard a lot. This chant started there. And I appreciated Mike Tomlin's response. Mike Tomlin said, hey, listen, I share their frustration. Tonight was tough to watch. And it's like, I appreciate Tomlin's answer, Coach Tomlin's answer. Coach Tomlin is obviously an incredible speaker and a good leader, which is why he's been who he is. But boy, Pittsburgh seems to be completely fed up with them right now. And I heard some things said earlier on the show on Get Up. First Take, Stephen A. He was talking about how any other 9 years, no playoff win, you'd be gone, especially in a city like Pittsburgh, which is such a football town. I think that was a very valid point that he made. Now, he did talk about the con artist, the GM, and he said there was no moves made. Actually, there was a bunch of moves made, which is why this year felt a little bit different at the beginning. Tone, I don't want to say you speak for all of Pittsburgh, but I do think you are a good representation of how Steelers fans could potentially feel about the team, being that you are a diehard of the squad. What are your thoughts, and why do you think it's a boiling point at this? Because it feels like this has been lingering for 4 or 5 years.
Yes.
And then now it's like, we're done showing up for you guys to get your ass kicked and don't even play Renegade? Is that what they're thinking?
Yeah, last night was the tip of the spear, the boiling point, as if you will. Everyone. It's been split about, the coaching staff changes, stuff like that, but everyone is now on the same page. I got a lot of texts last night and this morning. Hey, you okay? Yeah, I am. Because everyone's on the same page now, okay? We can't have this anymore. 9 years without a playoff win is absurd. 3 playoff wins in the last 13 years is absurd. Yeah, they've got 21 straight seasons without a losing season. That's really good, but it's not good enough when you're not winning playoff games.
Yeah, but you can put it on a shirt.
You could put it on a shirt and you could say it, and the national media can be like, yeah, if this guy gets fired, he's going to have a job the next day, which might be right. And Mike Tomlin is a great coach. He's a Hall of Fame coach. But sometimes the voice just it runs dry in the locker room. I don't know. No one's on the same page. Aaron is talking about people not showing up for meetings and film and stuff like that. TJ's talking about literally the same play that they've run over and over and over for the Bills, and they couldn't stop it once. Julian Edelman has come out and said that they know exactly what plays are going to be run against Steelers defense. Jamar Chase has done the exact same thing. It just got to a point. I think it's got to the point with the fan base and the city that this is not the Pittsburgh Steelers. You watch the product and it looks nothing like them. The fans are done with it. Everyone is done with it. We've all had enough.
D-Bud, how do you think the Pittsburgh Steelers locker room feels? Cam Hayward obviously said he got kneed in his stomach and he didn't like how disrespected he was. He also probably didn't love that they did run the same duo play basically with James Cook and had the same outcome every single time. And crack, seal.
5 in a row.
He's out. Yeah, there's 5 straight plays doing the same thing, and they were all very successful. Yes, it has been something that I think a lot of Steelers fans have kind of been talking about with the defensive side of the ball, which Mike Tomlin came from. It's like the defense is terrible, and there's no adjustments. And whenever they talk about being predictable, and the players on the field know that. Is that kind of like, if I remember, and you would have to correct me, you would be the person to correct me here, Legion of Boom, they played like the same shit, right? But you had to beat them.
Yeah.
That was kind of the case. Is that what the Steelers' mindset is too? And has it always been that way? Or why do you think the Steelers are where they are? And how do you think the players feel with all the outside noise about maybe this being the final time of the Tomlin?
Yeah, I feel like we've heard a ton of people, whether it be players or coaches, talk about in the positive light how, hey, these are the same blitzes, these are the same this, the same that. The Legion of Boom, they did their thing. When the Broncos went on their run, you know that, hey, you just had to beat man coverage. Everybody kind of has their own staples, and they just get good at what they're good at. Now, in this league, everything changes week to week. But if you look at these plays, these aren't like dynamic Ben Johnson type run plays or a bunch of moving parts. This is just lining up and running the ball down your throat. And that is the complete opposite of what you think about when you think about the Pittsburgh Steelers. You think about toughness, you think about physicality, whether that's on the offensive or defensive side of the ball. If you think about all the Pittsburgh greats, that's the first thing that kind of comes to your mind, whether it's a guy in the middle or Jerome Bettis or one of these big physical guys. Like, that's what you think. Then Renegade, like, I still got PTSD from that shit, been on an opponent. When that shit comes on, you know, okay, some bullshit's about to come, a strip sack, a pick six, something. So to see 7 fans waving their towel when they go live with that, that was disheartening. It's Monday. Tone didn't even put his Steelers helmet back on the desk that we both go back and forth on. I feel bummed out about him, but yeah, it's tough. And I know Tone's getting a lot more than I am, but I'm getting more messages saying I don't like people being out on Mike T. They threw the graphic up about the 3 franchises. I forget which 3 it was. I think Patriots was one of them. 20 plus years of not having a losing record. That is impressive.
It was a good graphic.
It was a great graphic. But sitting here Monday, that team, that fan base, you got to be embarrassed to be a highest paid defense on the field, and those are guys. T.J. Watt, Cam Hayward, Jalen Ramsey, Patrick, like these are notable, like Hall of Fame type names. So for them to be sitting in this Monday watching these same plays that we're watching, it's tough. It's going to be a tough meeting room for sure.
And it's tough because the fan base grew up on like the rush defense, and we talked about it last year when Derrick Henry ran for 475 yards in the playoff game or whatever. We grew up. They have the record. There was 32 consecutive games where they didn't allow a 100-yard rusher. 32 consecutive. And now it's almost every single game that there's a 100-yard rusher. And that's just not who we are.
It's crazy.
Right there, we got 90 rush yards, 17 and third
Beginning of the third quarter.
Stat just popped up while you were talking about it. And here's some more stats that aren't good for the Steelers. Hembo cooked these things up. Plus 16 is the margin of first downs between the Bills to the Steelers. Plus 31 plays. Their defense was out there a lot. Boys were tired. 74 plays for the Bills. 43 time of possession sweep. And then that rush yards one there.
God.
Plus 191. The worst rushing margin for Pittsburgh in a home game since 1955. The fact that it's all happening in Pittsburgh.
Yes.
And the Yinzers are spending their life watching it. That
Not
makes
anymore.
it exponentially worse. Because not only is it these Yinzers, and Coach Tomlin knows that. He's lived there for so long, 20 years, whatever the case, 18 years. So he understands it just as much. Those Yinzers are going home and they're talking to the neighbors, okay?
Yeah.
The neighbors are saying, Sue went down there. Did you see what they did? Second half, they just let him just run right over. James Cook, same exact. That's what we're saying. Tomlin doesn't know shit. And then they go to the next neighbor. And then they go to the next person they run into. Then all of a sudden, the entire neighborhood feels the exact same way. And it's like all you need is just a couple terrible experiences back to back to back. And it's happened all year with them. I think you can. The Yinzers are a group that will kill for you, actually.
Like, we'll actually do that for you. And on the flip side, we're done with you. Need you to go ahead and take a walk here. I think they've always been that way, will always be that way. And I think right now is the loudest that I've heard it as somebody I feel like is kind of tapped into the city of Pittsburgh and how they feel on things. There's always been a group that has been sick of the winning season shit. Sick of it. We get a terrible draft pick. Great. Winning season. Let's get pick number 17. Let's get pick number 18. We can't really get anybody. Oh, we're not going to trade for anybody. Of course we're not. Oh, we're not going to move up. So we're going to get another mediocre player to add to our above average team. And then we're going to steal some games and we're going to have a good time and we're going to renegade this thing. That's cool. There was a group of people that were like that like 5 years ago, 4 years into the lack of winning. I think that started to, it feels now that it is at the biggest and most unified that it has been in the city of Pittsburgh. The Rooney family has to.
You would think so. And a lot of people are really, really mad at ownership as well.
But you could trade Coach Tomlin, right? Wouldn't that be a thing?
You could.
And then there was a report that sorry, I don't know who reported it. I apologize. I saw the headline. There's potential coach conversation, fresh new start thing.
Yeah,
Jay Glazer said?
That was like an MLB football, JPA.
Someone reported that there's an elder coach in the league who might be looking for change. But anyways, Baltimore and Pittsburgh are tied currently for the lead in the AFC North. And every fan that I've talked to is like, I wish we just would lose out if it means change rather than like, hey, we're in the division fight. Nobody cares about that anymore.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Hey, they can go on a run though, boys.
That's right.
Hey, just start going to meetings.
Yeah.
Start going to meetings. Now you need to go in and not out whenever I say, hi.
I thought he said he was at the meeting. That's what I thought I heard. I know they were on the wrong page as far as the check, but I thought he said everybody shows up to the meetings.
Oh, you're saying the way he delivered it was not condescendingly asking if everybody would start showing up to the meetings. You're saying he was saying everybody show up to the meetings. They just don't understand what the checks are.
Yeah, and we've had conversations for years about how Aaron Rodgers always changes. Peyton, Drew Brees, Brady, like those are always moving parts. But maybe I misheard it.
Run it.
When there's film sessions, everybody shows up. And when I check to a route,
how do you fix it?
I do the right route, Like John and I just weren't on the same page. I checked to his in breaker and he ran out breaker. John is a true professional, so I'm sure he's sick about that. But I threw a ball I thought was going to get hit by the wind, and it was 4 yards over Roman. So I got to make that throw. But we have our meetings every week. We have other opportunities outside of the facility, and look forward to seeing all the boys there.
All right. Okay, so he was asked how he fixed the chemistry. He said, well, when there's meetings, everybody shows up. Interesting. That is,
he does look cool though.
With the broken nose?
He looks like a Pittsburgh still quarterback.
I thought he was
6 and 6.
I thought he was done with that wrist, 3 fractures.
Yeah.
The whole thing. He lands on his face. Everything's busted. I assumed he hurt this one again.
Yeah, probably.
I assumed he somehow hurt this one again or whatever the case is. Then he comes back, bandaged up thing, still taking the thing off, by the way, between everyone. He is, and I think nobody talks about it, he is old school tough guy quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
That is how he views the position. Have to. He even likes taking hits, I think. Like that is a part of the entire thing. Yeah. And he's been very anti any of the rules. So him bouncing back as a 40-plus-year-old after having Bosa explode through his back and then dump him on his face, and then the worst possible outcome happened. I mean, that shows a lot of grit.
It does.
And Pittsburgh Steelers fans appreciate the grit. Need to get some wins.